everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of Prime Video's new action horror limited series, The Bondsman, which stars Kevin Bacon in the lead role. This is a 8-episode series that dropped this past Thursday on Prime, and I was anticipating this for a couple of days. And I'm stressing that because I knew nothing about this show. And I just randomly saw a trailer for it like over the weekend. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I wonder when it comes out. And then when they showed the date, I'm like, wait, that's a couple of days. All right. And so I was geared up to watch the first couple of episodes and, do the week to week. Well, Prime Video decided to bless us and drop all 8 episodes, and I watched every single one. I must say it was a swift watch. I think every episode is about 30 minutes long. It's not an hour long episode type of show, and I think the show benefited from that format. This show was created by Granger David for Amazon Prime Video. And the premise is a bounty hunter comes back from the dead and finds his job now has a dramatic element after Lucifer reads the receipt wrong. This is also co-produced by Jason Blum from Blumhouse, so the horror is there. And Kevin Bacon is Kevin Bacon, my man. I mean, Kevin Bacon has been doing this for decades. And so it's kind of hard not to get excited when Kevin Bacon pops up on the screen. Not a stranger of horror films. You go back to Tremors, and I know Tremors is classified more as a kind of a comedy, but it's a horror comedy. And this show pretty much falls in that same loop. I actually enjoyed this show. Is it great? No. It's not a great show, but it is an entertaining show. The horror elements of it is bloody. It is very bloody. The demonic possessions and what takes place with every different demon is very unique and cool. I really enjoyed how they did that throughout this show. Kevin Bacon, to touch in on my positives, Kevin Bacon he's a gem, man. Kevin Bacon is, no matter what you put him in, horror, comedy, action, drama, it doesn't matter. He knows how to sauce up a role, and he really dove into this. This could have easily been kind of a paycheck type of a role for him, but he really dove into it, and I had fun with his character. He is deeply flawed as a bounty hunter who dies and goes to hell and comes back and have to come to grips with the fact that he died and went to hell. And he's not a religious person, not a spiritual person. There's that, but there are some dark things he did in his past that resulted to his sentencing of hell. So it was cool to see that discovery play out. It wasn't just thrown at us in the first couple of episodes. We had to learn going down this road, going down this journey with Hub, the character that Kevin Bacon portrays in here. And Kevin Bacon, it does an excellent job with that role. His mother, played by Beth Grant, man, she is so good. She is one of those character actors who you've seen in numerous of films. I remember I think the one thing I remember, at least the first time seeing her, was in Speed. She was one of the passengers on the bus. Actually, she was the passenger that tried to get off the bus, and the steps blew up, and she went under the bus and died. And so it's something that sticks with you from that movie. So that was her. And I remember her from there and seeing her pop up in numerous other TV shows and movies throughout that time in between. And here, she plays Kevin Bacon's mother. I love the dynamic between those two. The chemistry between those two was really good, and I enjoyed her character as well. Damon Henryman or Harriman, he plays Lucky. He's the antagonist here, and he's set up, and this is a good job by the writers and the showrunners here. He's set up to be like the evil bad, the big bad of the show. And I love the reveal of his character and the coming to grips with the fact that he's not what you think he is. You know, not to spoil, I'm not going to spoil anything about the first season or this season. I don't know if they're going to get a second season, even though it was technically set up to continue. We'll see, but it did leave on a cliffhanger, but neither here nor there. The character of Lucky, I love how we go through the whole season thinking he's one thing and he's actually something else, yet he still has a past. He still has a dark past that that needs to be addressed. you know, and I'm talking around it because it's so much to that character. Like I say, all these characters have layers. There's a lot of development of these characters, a lot of flushing out of these characters that I think the show did an excellent job of pulling off. The big positive that I truly enjoyed of this show was the fact that it's silly. It's a silly premise to the degree, not the premise so much of, a demon hunter, but how they rolled it out, how they leaned into the silliness of it. This show does not take itself seriously, and I appreciate it. It didn't get preachy. It didn't say, "Oh yeah, if you don't go to church, if you don't go to church every Sunday, this could happen to you." It wasn't all that. It was really a contained story. It do touch in on faith. It do touch in on your belief system in a way, but it's not preachy, and I deeply appreciated that. And this is coming from a Christian, but even Christians don't want to be preached to all the time. But this show doesn't do that, and I loved it for that. My negatives, there's a couple. Number one, the supporting cast. The supporting cast did not work. Now there was another one. Oh my God, why is her name escaping me now? The actress who played his I guess you could say supervisor or whatever. She was good. My negative about that was it wasn't more of her. It wasn't a lot of her. I was hoping that she had more to do in the show, but they only gave her 2 episodes, and it wasn't enough in my opinion because I really enjoyed her in the show. But the rest of the supporting cast really didn't click with me. Really couldn't connect with those actors and actresses. The actress who plays his ex-wife, Kevin Bacon's ex-wife, Marianne. She's a singer, well-known singer. Jennifer Nettles, good singer, not the strongest actors. Not the strongest. At least for here, it felt like at moments in certain episodes, like she was in a different show. Like she wasn't in, you know what I'm saying? It was like this. The scene required a little comic relief in a sense, but she wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I don't remember a comedic beat from her throughout this whole season. But I mean, she wasn't horrible. It wasn't like she was bad. Actually, none of the actors or actresses were bad. They were just there. They were just doing the best of what they were given. And, the results were all right. It was all right. But yeah, that was a negative. The other negative is the horror. I love the horror as far as the gore and the demons and whatnot, but it wasn't really horror. Horror comedies. When you think of horror comedies, that like the aforementioned Tremors, right, with Kevin Bacon. Yeah, it was a horror comedy, but there were elements there where there was some real moments of dread, real moments of oh my God, are they gonna get out of this situation, and so on and so forth. Here, I didn't feel that. I never felt that Kevin Bacon's character was in trouble. Even though he played it off like he was, uh, you know, struggling with these demons and whatnot, even getting his behind whipped a lot of times by these demons. It still didn't quite have the tension that I was hoping it would have. These demons really weren't scary or threatening in the sense of like, the ultimate goal of these demons were to take over the world, to start the apocalypse. I didn't feel like the apocalypse was anywhere near coming to fruition. So it just didn't land in that sense. But as far as the story of Hub going on this quote unquote journey, that was fun. Um, the end result, I've been fighting within myself how to say this without being spoilery, but I didn't like the end result. I did not like how this season ended. As far as with his character didn't. There was no resolution to his character, even though there was a turn, but the turn was so unsatisfactory. It was just like he didn't learn anything from this whole experience. So it let me down at the end really, really hard because it needed to finish strong because there were some episodes throughout that were a little weak, I would say. And, there was hope that this would end on a big crescendo, and it really didn't. And it was very disappointing in that sense. But overall, I enjoyed the show. It was a good watch. It's nothing that, like, if season 2 is announced and it's coming out, I'm not going to sit there and clear my schedule when it drops. Like, oh man, season 2 of The Bondsman is coming. I'm not, it'll be more like, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it, because it just did not hit. It did not hit the way I wanted it to hit. But it's watchable. It's not the end of the world. It's watchable. The Bondsman, which is currently on Prime Video, all 8 episodes for your viewing pleasure, gets a letter grade of a C minus. Yeah, I think it's decent. It's a decent little show, cute little show that you can sit down and watch one. You can really watch it in one sitting, in one afternoon, one evening, when you have time. I think that's what it's good for, and it was a smart idea for Prime to drop all 8 episodes at once, because waiting week to week for it, and it wouldn't have been worth it. It's not worth that, but it is worth a binge. And so kudos to them for seeing that. But I would like to know, did you check out The Bondsman on Prime Video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And if you didn't see it, or you're planning on checking it out, I do recommend it. I say check it out. You might enjoy it. Let me know by email, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of the brand new action horror series on Prime Video, the Bondsman. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.